Show, the first episode of 2025. We're here at the premises of Staff Training NI. We have, at the end of this, there'll be a chance for you to win a defibrillator, so stay tuned for that. But I'm joined by two great guests here. We've got professional boxer Colm Murphy. He's going to be headlining the Ulster Hall on the 1st of February, live on BBC Sport. And former Ulster Rugby player Luke Marshall. So we're going to be talking about all things sport, plus having loads of fun along the way. So stay tuned for that and lots more. So Colm, first of all, big day for you on the 1st of February. You're going to be headlining Ulster Hall, BBC Sport. You've had 13 fights up until then. Has this been your biggest sort of fight to date? And what's led you up until this journey? What's been your journey up until this point?
Well, the thing is, see, as an amateur boxer back in 2020, before COVID, BBC actually came and did the Ulster Hall, and I main evented alongside JP Hill, who I believe you've met before.
JP, yeah.
So I'm actually well accustomed to probably this moment too from that, because that was a big moment there. It was the Ulster Elite Championships just before COVID, and me and JP put on a great fight, and clips of us boxing actually did go viral on BBC Sport. So with that experience, that was 5 years ago. By the time this fight comes around, I feel like I'm well accustomed and ready to go for it.
And what's your first sort of memories of the sport? Can you remember when you first put on a set of boxing gloves? When you first your first fight? Like, what sort of memories do you have of getting involved in the sport from an early age?
My earliest memory probably was I was about 6 or 7. Me and my brother started watching the Rocky movies when we were on holiday. And,
big Sylvester Stallone fan?
Yeah. Rocky 4, definitely my favourite one.
That's why he's training in Russia?
Yeah, and theoretically it ended the Cold War. So it was a good one, I always remember. But me and my brother, I remember, put gloves on and just started sparring each other and whacking heads off each other in the hotel resort, back. And I remember just all the kids looking at us like we were nut jobs, which we probably were. But then nothing ever came about from that. And then when I was 13, probably my next memory of boxing, it was a funny one. Me and my dad were just in the house, and he had a few drinks on him admittedly, and we were play scuffling.
Right.
And I just turned around and hit him a pasty punch, which is a slap. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It was a good one.
You remember that? That's a memory to remember.
I think he remembers it.
so growing up, what was your first sort of live fight? Did you remember watching anybody like you said, I want to be like him, like a boxing role model? Like who have you grew up watching? Have you watched any fights that really stood out for you and you've sort of really enjoyed?
I remember going to the waterfront to watch Carl Frampton fight Kiko Martinez, where he got his world title.
Okay.
And that was an electric environment.
Yeah.
I think it was just down at the Titanic Quarter there.
Yeah, it was.
And half of Belfast came out to support him, and it was both sides of the community there supporting a guy from Belfast, and that was a real big night to be a part of and to see. And
how important is it? I know from a medical point of view, boxers obviously get a lot of injuries and they have to get a lot of damage, because the whole point of the sport is to hurt your opponent. A bit like that in rugby a wee bit, but more in boxing, where rugby you're trying to disguise it a wee bit because you have the ball, but this is boxing, you're hitting people in the face. So how important is it to have people in your corner and medical people to keep you sort of in check, keep you at your best and deal with any injuries you might come up with?
Well, yeah, you need people who know how to protect you in there, because a boxer is going to keep fighting until the last bell. So if you're taking too much punishment, you need someone who knows you in and out, and knows when to basically throw in the towel to save you from yourself. And we even seen that. It was, I think, 2 years ago in the SSE, a South African lad came over and he was fighting Nick Ball, and his corner threw in the towel in the last round, and he actually had to go be put in a induced coma in the Royal, and he was took away, collapsed in the ring, and thank God he's okay now and he's made a great recovery. But if his corner hadn't done the right thing there, it could have been another life lost.
Do you think there's a more of awareness around that now from a medical point of view, where years ago it was sort of in boxing it was just keep sending them out, whereas now it's okay, he's had enough, that's the end of it? It's more likely to leave more chance of maybe people doing the right thing and not letting the fight go on too long.
Yeah, I think people are realising the severity of concussion, not even just in boxing, in rugby too, where in rugby you can take knees to the top of the head, when you're in the scrum and stuff. So
They changed that rule, have they? That rule made a change. That'll change the rules a lot in rugby, but over the years, rules have come in to protect players more rather than that.
Yeah.
But no, so tickets still available 1st of February.
Yep.
So anybody wants to go and see this man fight in the Ulster Hall 1st of February, tickets still available. It's going to be on BBC Sports, so probably the first time you've been on live TV.
Yeah.
And you're also top of the bill.
Yeah.
He's top of the bill. He's only on the undercard, so I think he had the top of the bill before, Hiller.
No.
So he's also top of the bill. Moving on to rugby. So you've had a 15-year career. I think it's going to be a year in April that you've been retired.
Yeah.
So you've had 11 caps for Ireland, and you've also represented under 20 level. How's it been sort of transitioning from a rugby player to like your routine as a rugby player? Them first couple of months where you're looking out in that pitch going, right, I don't do that anymore. So you're now just a general member of the public. Is it still inside you a bit, or has it got a bit more easy to deal with in terms of I'm not playing?
Like, it's definitely still inside. I mean, I'll always miss it. I think I'm definitely ready, or I was ready to retire. Like, it sort of had a decent innings, I suppose, and sort of body was ready to retire. But
You're only 33.
yeah, well,
Depends what you've been doing all that years, hasn't it?
but I'll always miss it. There's nothing. I'm enjoying my work at the minute. I'm working in finance, but it's nothing you can't replicate. I suppose any sort of sport, but certainly rugby for me, like the thrill, the adrenaline of a big game, particularly at home, it's just.
And talk us about sort of why rugby? Why was that the sport that you picked? What led you to become a rugby player? Did you try other sports, or was there something in the family, or were you always going to watch Ulster play? Was that you knew from an early age, I want to be a rugby player?
Probably family is the biggest factor for me. I love football. I loved football more than I loved rugby when I was young, and I wanted to.
Who do you support? Go on, tell us.
United, Man United. Unfortunately.
When they were good, when they were good,
yeah. Oh, I remember.
99.
Yeah. But no, I like football was definitely my first love. So it was. I played a lot of golf as well actually when I was young.
Okay.
But
What's your handicap?
Was 7, but that was when I was 12. So
is that good for a rugby player? Is there any people? Do you know anybody in the Ulster team who is really good at golf?
Yeah, Stuart McCluskey.
He's the man. So if there's a golf day for Ulster rugby, he's winning.
He would have done this. I'm trying to think. Golf's really popular actually. Within the last couple of years, Ulster has
loads of golf days a lot,
yeah. So maybe some boys would challenge, and he would be definitely the most naturally gifted, and he hits the ball a mile, so he does as well. So.
What about golf? Do you have a bit of golf, Colm?
No. I tried it out. Didn't
mini golf at York.
Yeah.
That's the reason I can do. I can putt, trying to get teed off. It's not going to happen. Mini golf be the best. But what's your sort of earliest memories of rugby in terms of watching, or what sort of moments stand out for you for in your own playing career, and obviously watched as well?
Watching probably 1999 when Ulster won the European Cup. I was lucky enough. I wasn't. My dad obviously was a supporter of Ulster, but he wouldn't have gone to games regularly. And then just I think that year because they were doing really well in Europe, we ended up going and we got tickets to the semi-final. Might have been one of the group games, and we got to go to the final down in Lansdowne Road. And I can remember I would have been about 8 or 9, but I can remember Lansdowne Road clearly. I remember walking over the railway line with the French Colombiers fans, the sort of crack and stuff there, and then coming onto the pitch after they won, seeing David Humphreys lift the cup and stuff, and so I remember that really clearly.
What do you think of this current refereeing thing going on at the minute with the sort of the bans and that type of thing? Do you think that the referees are getting things right, or there needs to be more? What if there's one thing that needs to be changed in rugby? Is there anything? If you could change one thing in rugby, what would you change? If you change one thing,
it's tough. Cause as we were talking there, Colm was saying about head injuries in boxing and other sports, and stuff. Concussions are a real buzzword in rugby. Has been for.
Do you think there's still more needed, or?
It's a tough one because I feel they're trying to look after players almost too much. You know, that might get in trouble for saying that, but you know, rugby's a contact sport, and anyone who starts playing it is aware of that now. Obviously,
It's like in boxing, don't hit your opponent.
I'm sure we'll all start
Body shots only. Don't hit him in the head. Boxing, no head shot. Just hit him in the body.
Smack in the face. Man, I didn't realise I was signing up for this. That's why. Why signed up?
Why is this guy hitting me for?
I
didn't do anything to him.
Yeah, boxing's a bit more physical than rugby.
Yeah.
But, like, it's still like similarities in fact that, you know, there's physical contact, and you know that, as I say. And I just feel that,
you know you're going to be sore.
Yeah.
At the end of the rounds or the end of the 80 minutes,
yeah.
It's going to be a sore. When you wake up the next morning, you're going to know you played a game or have been in a fight.
And sometimes I think just there's pressure on referees obviously to protect players, and they're obviously trying to put a product out that's attractive as well for families watching and kids watching, so that, and parents watching. I think is the big thing. So parents watching, seeing guys getting knocked out on a rugby pitch, bad injuries,
or
that's going to fear them for getting letting their kids
or
play.
sport in general. Like
sport in general,
if you see somebody getting knocked out, I don't want my child doing that.
Yeah,
I don't want my child involved in that type of sports, but to show them that there's a lot of benefits to be gained from it, not just it's worth it.
Yeah.
But what advice would both of you give to a young sports person, either a young rugby player or a young boxer who's getting involved from the very beginning? What advice would you give to a young rugby player wanting to come through the ranks and sort of be the best rugby player they can be?
Just put hard work in. Like I think any sport, like, you know, hard work's really big. Like talent gets you so far, but hard work's just going to get you.
Hard work beats talent, and talent doesn't work hard.
100%, yeah. And then just enjoy it, like, you know, no matter what you're doing.
And what about from a boxing perspective, a parent's taking their child to a boxing gym for the first time, not going, you know, throw them straight into the ring, sort of teaching them to sort of come through and getting them sort of the timing of that, not rushing them too much. A young boxer, what would you say to a young boxer trying to sort of make it?
Well, a lot of focus can be on getting the hard work done as a boxer, but a lot of people in that game are actually very hard workers, so
definitely.
You should try and actually be a wee bit different and work smarter. One way you could do this is by studying some of the greats who've came along beforehand, watching them, watching videotapes, watching fights, and seeing how they actually conduct themselves, and then trying to replicate it like that.
Yeah. Do you think, in terms of this last, like from the amateur point of view, next Olympics, there's a chance that boxing is not going to be included? Do you think that's going to have an effect on the amateur game? A lot of amateur boxers might say, well, I'll just go pro, because I can't go to Olympics. It's no longer Olympic sport. Boxing's been Olympic sport for years. So do you think that's going to, how's that going to impact boxing if boxing is no longer on the Olympics?
Yeah, I think it's going to impact it negatively, and that's a real shame, because in Ireland we have one of the best amateur setups
They're bringing
in the
more
world.
more medals now, and especially the Commonwealth Games. I think they've reduced it to 10 sports. A lot don't even want to have the Commonwealth Games now. The Glasgow's took it here, but I think rugby sevens is Olympic or in the Commonwealth?
I'm not sure.
I think it is there, but do you think a lot of, I think Zach Ward, did he play?
That's right, yeah.
He played. Do you think there's a desire from rugby players to want to be in that as well, to be considered an Olympic sort of sport as well as?
I think definitely guys who played sevens, like you saw Hugo Keenan this year. Just a chance to be in the Olympics and represent Ireland. Like drew him out of the end of the season I think he missed out in Six Nations as well, actually, for the opportunity. So it's definitely, there is a drive for guys who, obviously there needs to be guys who have played sevens, and sevens is a sort of specialist sport.
Talking about the Six Nations start early this year. 31st of January is the first fixtures. What do you think Ireland's chances are and how do you think they'll fare in this year's competition?
I think it's definitely the same as the last few years. The chances are very good. I think I've still France favourites. I think the way they're, like, Toulouse are going, Leinster are going very well as well for Ireland, but I would have France favourites. But I think England could be maybe dark horses, but I think
There'll be a couple of surprises maybe in a couple of the results, you know. I think it'll just be, you can sort of predict how it's
I
going
can't
to
see Wales surprising anyone.
Right.
Or Italy. Scotland are always hard to tell. I think it truthfully it'll be down to France and Ireland.
Yeah. And back to the event on the 1st of February, do you think there's anybody that you're really looking forward to on the undercard watching? A lot of people are there to watch, obviously, the main event, but there's lots of good undercard fighters on the 1st of February you're going to be fighting. Do you think it's given a lot of these boxers a chance to showcase their skills and get out there and get known? to people?
Well, first one that springs to mind is Theo Allen, because
Yeah.
me and him, lad from Cookstown, me and him have been sharing a lot of rounds sparring leading up to this. And then he's actually fighting someone I fought in my third professional fight, a guy called Brian Morena from Nicaragua, which is, I believe, the murder capital of the world. And he's a tough one.
Murder capital of the world.
Yeah, like
We do
it's
live
a
in
rough
North.
place.
We live in Northern Ireland. It's a rough place.
Yeah. Well, I remember fighting him in my third fight, and the guy, you need to hit him with a sledgehammer to put a dent in him. And
Right.
I remember it was round 5, and
And he just
I
keeps
went-
walking towards you. He just keeps walking
Well,
towards you.
he hit me twice after the bell, and most people probably would have been knocked out.
Isn't
he
it
can hit.
strange that at the two types of sports, you have to be able to take a lot of punishment. You could be a really good player, you could be a really good boxer, you could be the best, but if you can't take a punch, you can't take a hit, you need to be able to get back up and go, right, where is he? I need to try and get going. So you think, is there some sort of people who can take more damage than others, and some people are really, if they take a knock, they're not right the rest of the game maybe? They're like, right, as soon as he gets a bad hit, he's not going to be the same. And same as boxing, you have to be able to sort of, some boxers are really good at getting themselves off the canvas, and other ones, once they're down, it's over.
Yeah.
Do you think that's sort of, can that be taught, or is it just something that's in you from a point of view?
Yeah, I think it's probably, you can probably get away in rugby in some positions, being able to disguise it. Some guys probably can't take a knock as well. I think in boxing you probably can find out in the training.
You can't sub them off in
Well, I
boxing.
think even the
You can't say,
training,
somebody come and take my position in the next round. You don't want to go back out and game of rugby, you can have a bad day.
Yeah, like anyone who's anyway successful in boxing's a tough cookie.
Yeah.
Whereas rugby, like there's definitely boys I could name definitely, and I wouldn't necessarily say they're tough cookies.
So from just a sporting point of view, but just from an overall point of view, what are you looking forward to in 2025? I know you're looking forward to the 1st of February, but is there anything else you're looking forward to seeing or watching in sport, or something you want to achieve? What your New Year's resolution? I know people don't really go into that anymore, but is there anything that you have on your list that you would like to really do in 2025? Either of you, or Colm, what would you like to do in 2025?
Yeah, I would like to end up fighting for a British title
This
or
year?
something along the lines. Maybe towards the end of the year.
Okay.
I'm ranked pretty highly in Britain, and I feel my manager
Would you
can
want
get me
the
that
fight to
shot.
take place?
Yeah, ideally,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if opportunity knocks, I'm willing to go anywhere. I've got a really good record, and there's no reason why I can maybe even look at being on a Rida season card
Okay.
as well. Do you know what I mean? Even like in
And
the likes of Saudi and stuff like that.
And that British title really puts you, then that opens up so many different doors, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of that, but in rugby, surely from something you want to get involved in, maybe coaching or some behind the scenes. You must have been inundated with offers. As people come to you after you've retired and gives you all this different stuff, and you have to make your decisions, all this stuff.
Okay, a couple of amateur clubs were asked me to play a wee bit, and then coach as well. But this year, just time-wise, starting a new job has just been tight with me, and just having a young family. But I could like to get back into some coaching at some stage. I'm playing actually in an Ireland Legends v England Legends game the night before the first Six Nations game at the end of January, so that's on my mind a wee bit.
If you've been invited, so they've considered you a legend.
Well, supposedly.
So if you're in a Legends team, you're then considered a legend. So that's a big thing. Like a legend, would you ever do a bit of white collar boxing? Maybe someone wants to get in there.
Well, no corner.
Maybe you can try a bit of rugby. You know what I mean? Then you can say, "Oh, actually, that sport was harder than I thought it was."
Yeah.
But no, thanks very much for coming along today. Really appreciate it. And we're going to be doing the staff training and I's really been really great. We've had buns and tea and coffee, and they've been fantastic. And we've got the title with us. This is what's going to be up for grabs on the 1st of February, isn't it? So this is the title. And with the rugby ball, I'm sure you're going to sign this for the business as well.
I've never won anything, so there's nothing for me.
Oh, well, you've had 11 Ireland caps, and it's a Six Nations ball, so it still counts. So you've appeared. As long as you've appeared for Ireland, we can do that. But thanks for coming along. Hope you've had a good time, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the year. Tune in the show. We're going to have a couple of other clips, and we're also going to be doing the jaw, where you have the chance to win a free defibrillator as well. So really appreciate it, and as always, stay tuned on Clubroom Show at YouTube, your website, and give us a follow on our social media. Thank you very much.